A big welcome to October Gallery and to the very first exhibition of Lisa Vandy. We're all excited. Before I introduce our opening speakers, I would like to introduce you to Elizabeth Lalushek, Artistic Director of October Gallery.
It was Zach Owen, great friend of October Gallery, who has come here today to be with us in a beautifully bright yellow jacket this rainy day. Where is he? Zach, introduce. In his bright yellow jacket, which he wore on this very rainy day, there he is. Zach. He brought us sunshine. But even more, he brought us Lisa Vandy. And he came and said, you must meet this fantastic artist. So we took a 55 bus and went to her studio in Hackney, a magical place, where we saw the first hulls. And we decided right there and then to offer Lisa her first exhibition here in London at October Gallery in May 2019. So we decided to show Lisa's work at the African Art Fair 154 last autumn. And the success was phenomenal. So many people came through, they not only adored Lisa's work, but they also bought every single piece that was exhibited. Yeah! And we could have sold that 3 times over. We then tried New York, which was equally successful. Now we're here in London. So we brought the works here. They came in their own boxes. Each work has its own special box where it's tied with a seat belt to the back. So when you open it, when you pull out the work, you bring it alive. You put it on the wall, and it suddenly sings its own unique song. You see this green work speaking to this blue work. You see this black work speaking to the white works. It's an extraordinary orchestra that starts in the gallery, and they only come alive when you bring them out. There's another piece that Lisa's heart is sitting in, and that is a big sculpture, Cog Hero Woman. Superhero Cog Woman that she made especially the first time for this exhibition, and it's sitting outside in the courtyard. And it will grace Free Sculpture Park. So I'm so delighted to have Lisa here to really celebrate her first exhibition and her success. And I'm going to pass back on to my colleague Chile.
And now a delicious treat is in store. That most sensual chef who makes delicious food look easy to prepare, Nigella Lawson, will say a few words.
I'm going to lean on the wall so I don't knock the art off. I feel incredibly nervous because on one hand, nothing gives me more pleasure than talking about Lisa. I mean, actually one thing does, being with Lisa. But I feel so inadequate to the task, but I want to say that everything you said about the work, that it's phenomenal. Well, Lisa is phenomenal. I first worked with Lisa. I always think it's not very long ago because I'm at an age when 10 years seems like yesterday. But we worked together and Lisa designed a set for me. And I was totally enchanted because she threw herself into this with such sincerity and such application, and she built a miniature, like a moquette. Yeah. And she built a baby me and a baby everything and the stoves, and she played with it. And I think when I see the art now, which kind of takes my breath away, that I feel that everything that is Lisa is in that, which is this enormous application and a fervour, but at the same time a playfulness. You know, that you can't, these are seriously wonderful works of art, but you can't really look at them without smiling. I don't know, that I feel that Lisa plays with so many things. She plays with the roles we occupy. She plays with notions of seriousness and notions of vulgarity. I mean, look at the chains just dropping off there. And I think in the same way, this notion of it's a very, for me, a very interesting female look at the world, because it's a very true femininity. I mean, in fact, I'm embarrassed to say that when I posted pictures of some of her work on my Instagram account, I suddenly realised after I posted it that it was really the female equivalent of the Wall of Dicks. And I hadn't quite taken that on board when I did it, but still. But in the same way, I think, and you can see that in the Cobb women, which is that it's challenging a way we look at women, which is knowing that women are strong and women are actually sturdy, and there's a lot of just about pushing on, and yet the beauty is there in a way that is normally seen as a way that's quite masculine, which is this wonderful appreciation of the mechanical. Lisa and I both enjoy very much any industrial beauty, but somehow she manages to winnow it into something that's so different, and you can look at that that's opposite me, and you can see it as an African mask, or you can see it as just this incredible shape and the colours and what shines off it, and I still love them, although I have had to drive around meeting men with hulls so that she can make her art. But anyway, I'm just here on behalf of all those who know and love Lisa, and really, like, if you met her once, you love her. To say we're so proud of you, because you've worked so hard, but none of your playfulness has gone. So it's just like, we need beauty right now. We really do. So thank you.
Tonight, this exhibition will be opened by Dr. Chris Crane, former head of the African Galleries at the British Museum, who was one of the first to champion the work of Lisa Vandy by buying one of her earlier pieces. Chris has always been very avant-garde, because he's made a decision to put beautiful modern contemporary art next to historic old pieces. He is now painting and writing himself in his new studio, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here, Chris.
Yeah. Thanks, Chile, so much. Wow. 40 years old and growing younger and younger. It's such a great pleasure and an honor to be a trustee of the October Gallery. It's an extraordinary home of the arts, and it's a place where great things have happened, and where great things will happen, and where great things are happening right here, right now, with Lisa Vandy's wonderful exhibition, Hidden. Hidden. What does that mean, hidden? What is being hidden? Half of my t-shirt is hidden, so I'll show you the whole lot. Anybody know what that means? Why am I wearing it, and what does it say? It says, any Arabic readers? Hassan Hajjaj! Yeah. We've just heard of Zach, and it was actually Hassan Hajjaj who introduced me to Lisa when I was still working at the BM. And as Chilius and Elizabeth have said, it was Zach, our mutual friend, who, by the way, is curating the Going to Be Extraordinary at Somerset House. Get up and stand up. Zach, all the best. And so Zach, introduced Lisa to the October. And that brought together the four of us, in a sense. And then on to Chile and Elizabeth. So we all have a kind of wonderful connection to this exhibition. And there's so much passion and inventiveness in this show that most of all it is filled, and I think a couple of people have already mentioned it, a deep sense of humour. And that is something that's suggested in a wonderful way, I think, by the catalogue. And I hope you're all going to get one of this. It was designed by Kaz. And I think of the many beautiful catalogues that have been printed for the October Gallery, this has got to rank very high. So a round of applause for Kaz. Now when I talk about a sense of humour, I don't mean a belly laugh round every corner. In fact, Lisa is dealing with many extremely serious subjects: the Atlantic slave trade, the colonialism, empire building, and the current migrant crisis amongst them. But I would maintain that you cannot be serious as an artist without a sense of humour. Together with love, it is humanity's greatest gift, and it may still save us from disaster. Now, nobody will believe me, but I think that Edvard Munch, that wonderfully angst-ridden Norwegian who's showing at the British Museum at the moment, has his tongue firmly in his cheek with one or two of those pieces that you see. And, yeah, well, talking of the British Museum, I remember showing Lisa around the Africa galleries, and she was kind of gobsmacked by all the contemporary artists and modern artists whose work is on show there, but also these extraordinarily Minkisi figures from Congo, bristling with iron nails and blades of all shapes and sizes, which had been struck into the wooden sculptures by the Nganga, or the spirit healer, to release their power on the behalf of his clients, who would come to him with a variety of maladies and complaints. That collision between iron and wood, cold and hot, culture and nature, man and woman, which takes place when these figures are activated, is perfectly summed up by an expression which I later heard Lisa use in the context of some of her own work: aggressive protection. It's a really interesting concept. It's hard to describe the feeling that I have when I see a work of art for the first time which simultaneously appeals on an aesthetic, spiritual, and emotional level, as well as in a curious way to my sense of humour. That is how I felt when I saw Ellen Atchery's man's cloth and woman's cloth, the first of his liquor bottle-top sculptures, hanging together on the wall behind me at the October Gallery many years ago. But that's also how I felt when I saw Lisa's Hulls series for the first time, both in her home and in her studio. The upturned hulls of model boats, some cast in fiberglass, some metal plated, some carved in wood, hulls of diverse colours and textures, but all suggesting a human face, split by a keel, nose, sometimes long and graceful, sometimes short and stubby. They reminded me in some ways of the anthropomorphic petrodron masks of another great artist associated with the October Gallery, Romuald Hazemey. But unlike the Minkisi figures of Congo with their irregular patterns created by various types of blade sunk into the wooden base sculpture, Lisa's hulls are pierced with meticulously and painstakingly arranged patterns of inserts, whether they be fishing floats, acupuncture needles, air gun darts, aluminium rivets, votive miracle charms, or brass upholstery pins. Sometimes a hull already suggesting the transport of commodities also begins to suggest the famous print, a cutaway diagram of the British slave ship Brooks, which was used by the abolitionists of the late 18th century to convey the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade. At the same time, some of Lisa's hulls also suggest the horrifying inversion of that slave trade of the past, which is taking place right now in the Mediterranean. Instead of being forcibly removed from Africa in the triangular trade, thousands of migrants from Africa and the Middle East are today risking their lives to get into Europe at the hands of unscrupulous traders who cram them into small, unseaworthy boats. So today, the different inserts which appear in the Hull series also seem to me to suggest migrants clinging to the upturned hull of one of those boats, right here, right now, somewhere in the Mediterranean. Another series of Lisa sculptures entitled Rail Track pursues the same theme, a theme of transportation of commodities, human or otherwise, though this time by rail. Now there's a story behind some of the materials she has used for these powerful sculptures, with their sections of model railway track, disconnected and leading in different directions on a charred landscape of wooden sleepers. Although this story is highly personal, it is also in many ways relevant to the themes of the exhibition, hidden. When my brother John and I were young boys, my dad would lay out his O-gauge model railway track on the battered orange lino of our playroom. There was an inner and an outer oval of track linked by 2 sets of points, one each for me and John to control. Onto the track, Dad would place 2 huge model steam trains fired by methylated spirit burners. And when steam was up, he would dim the lights and let them loose in opposite directions. Change, he would shout to me just before there was a collision. Then change to John to set the 2 giants on a collision course again. Faster and faster the engine sped round the track. Change, change, change. And finally one of the bends was too much. And an engine left the rails and tipped onto its side, sending blazing mess across the scorched orange lino, leaving the remaining victorious train proudly chuffing around the track. A few generations earlier, John and I might have been playing with trains, toy soldiers and model boats to prepare us for a career in maintaining the empire, or worse still, in controlling and pacifying peoples around the world. But it was the 1960s, and change was going to come. It had been coming for many years, but finally it had arrived. And of course we grow older and we listen to Dylan singing "The Times They Are Changing." The orange lino became hidden beneath moth-eaten red carpet. The engines disappeared into the attic, concealed in their russet red cardboard boxes. And the railway track was dismantled and stowed away in the garage, out of sight. Later, Dad sold the engines to supplement his income as a teacher in the local girls' secondary modern. And when he passed away a few years ago, I came across the old model railway track when I was cleaning the house. And I remembered how Lisa had told me of her interest in creating sculptures using this material. I rang her and she came down within the hour and took the lot. So think of Dad when you see these sculptures. Lisa's fascination with the design qualities inherent in engineering and manufacture of all sorts, as well as the sociological impacts and hidden human histories they represent, are carried into her series entitled These Women, which you can see over there. Here, the cogs and discs, the tubular pistons and shafts, hidden within the sleek hulls of boats and beneath the smart, liveried outer casings of railway locomotives, appear in the stylized bodies of human beings. These are lovely tactile works, inviting you to pick them up and caress them in ways which Lisa's hulls most certainly do not. They're also made with a knowing smile, as if they are the playful progeny of Lisa's 2-meter-high superhero cogwoman, and you must go and see her out in the courtyard there. Though at the same time there is a serious nod to that most complex and mysterious of all machinery, the human body, in particular the female human body. Lisa is constantly experimenting with new forms and materials in her work, some of which she comes across by happy accident. In the case of her landscapes, a happy culinary accident, when, as she explains, it was a domestic discovery I made through making soda bread with the addition of treacle. The resulting 2 portrait screens, which you can see appropriately in front of the kitchen, showing what she goes on to describe as 5 loop pieces of moving wallpaper, each approximately 2 to 3 minutes, one forward, one in reverse. And to me it feels like a cross between the most delicious treacle sauce or cake filling and one of the oil industry's many eco-disasters. There's also something about landscapes which seem to have kinship with Leonardo's famous studies. Now, there's another anniversary. Of the properties of water. In fact, these women and superhero cogwoman also remind me of Leonardo's fascination with design and invention, whether it be for siege defences, flying machines or mirror grinders, which went hand in hand with his understanding of the construction and beauty of the human body. In fact, Lisa could usefully be described as a Renaissance woman, a polymath whose work exhibits a range of skills applied to a variety of subject matter. It is an approach which, together with a skill in life drawing and in drawing generally, until this year at least, has long been unfashionable in the art world. But change is going to come. And make no mistake about it, Lisa Vandy will be in the vanguard of that movement. And it's my great, great pleasure to officially open this exhibition. And Lisa, come on up and say a few words. Lisa Vandy, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that. I'm overwhelmed. I can say that first. Firstly, I mean, what to say? You told me that this was not Oscar acceptance. But you know, I'm kind of thinking, maybe. I have to say thank you to the October Gallery, Chile and Elizabeth. Really, I couldn't be in, I think, safer hands. And also, the culture of this place, to me, is fascinating. The 40 years, the fact that you're both women. You know, there's a whole, the way that you've approached looking to find art, the boat. I mean, the stories are. If you don't know much about this gallery, check it out. It's extraordinary. There are lots of hidden stories there. Really, what I want to say is thank you to everybody, because there's so many people here who I feel have just picked me up and let me run. You know, my mum's here. I can't go through all the names because I've forgotten my list. And that's just appalling. But so many people here have sponsored me, bought the work, encouraged me, engaged with me, talking about the work, and all those things have incredible value. It's not just buying the work or sponsoring. I mean, you know, I think as an artist you do worry that you're just sitting making sort of car boot futures. I mean, I'm sure every artist has thought that, you know, where will this go? What will happen to this? And with this level of encouragement, you do start to understand that you could go somewhere. Thank you, everybody who's ever shown any interest and support. I'm sorry I can't get through my proper thank you list. My girlfriend Kaz is amazing too. Zach Ove and Hassan Hajjaj made me do this. Just remember that. Zach phoned me up. He phoned me up 10 years ago. Come. Zach phoned me up 10 years ago, and in any area that Zach's working, this constant cry is, yes, but Lisa, there's not enough women, come on. And he absolutely encouraged me, because you said, both of you said, you've always been an artist, what are you doing? And that's what you both said. You said you've always been an artist, so carry on. Go. So that's really, I can't thank you enough, guys.
Thank you.
Amazing. And thank you everybody for coming.
I just want to remind everybody that Lisa will be giving a talk on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Imagine how good it would be.